and welcome to the Everything SDG 11 News. It is a beautiful day, March 28, 2022, with me, our news anchor, Seung-Lee, reporting at the top of the mountains at Nansan University. Our breaking news for today will be about sustainable cities and communities. By 2050, 70% of the world's population will live in cities. From how the population is going to be focused mainly in cities, we would have to consider a few problematic outcomes due to this change. It will be like environmental degradation, deterioration in public safety, and inadequate access to education and medical services. The most trusted reporters in the Q building will bring you the latest SDG 11 information. Okay, reporter Mizna, can you explain to us the current state and statistics of this issue?
Okay, now I'm going to present the current issues and key statistics. The issue of 11 school can sort it into two parts. First is urban expansion. When there is an urban expansion, there will be insufficient infrastructures. While Goal 11 aims to ensure that all people have access to adequate, safe, and affordable housing and basic services, infrastructure development is a major challenge. Moreover, the gathering of people in cities also expand energy consumption and increase the rate of carbon emissions, which can cause further environmental pollution. To illustrate, please look at this graph. This graph made by NASA in 2013 describes how cities' pollution relates to the size of its population. The contribution to air pollution from NO2, a common pollutant from the burning of fossil fuels in each region, more than doubled when cities increased in population from 1 million to 10 million people. Although in China, the increase was much larger, by about a factor of 5. So, the second issue is the slum areas and its residents. This is caused by an influx of people from rural areas into urban areas to earn money, but end up not finding satisfying employment. Slum causes hazardous environments, such as poor security and contaminated residential districts. Furthermore, slum dwellers lack access to adequate education and medical services, which hinders sustainable urban development. Therefore, immediate change is essential. To show how the number of slum dwellers is increasing, please look at this graph. The size of bubbles represents the number of millions of people living in slum, and vertical line indicates the proportion of urban population living in slums. As the graph reveals, regardless that proportion is improving, the number of people living in slum is increasing from 807 million to 883 million from 2000 to 2014. Okay, I will give you back, Soyeon.
Thank you. Let's move on to reporter Marina. Marina, what has been done to address this issue?
Thank you, Seung. As one of the solutions to solve the environmental problems that come with attaining SDG 11, most European countries have air quality action plans to improve air quality in their cities. They often include implementing a low-emission zone as one of the single most effective measures. As we can see here, these are electric buses that European people can use as their public transportation. Moving on, in closing the infrastructure gap, the Finance to Accelerate the Sustainable Transition Infrastructure, or FAST Infra initiative, was created by the French government, and since inception, well over 100 organizations have joined the initiative, from commercial banks and asset managers to governments and non-governmental organizations. The aim is to transform sustainable infrastructure into a mainstream liquid asset class to mobilize private investment at scale. Moving on to the topic of slum upgrading projects, United Nations Habitat has spearheaded the program called Participatory Slum Upgrading Program, or PSUP, which was founded in 2008. The PSUP addresses the living conditions of millions of slum dwellers worldwide. Now, more than 40 countries and 190 cities are investing in strategic, participatory slum upgrading activities and sustainable urbanization, together with the local communities in their countries and cities. Back to you, Soyoung.
Thank you for the information, Marina. And lastly, Professor Naomi, can you conclude our news for today?
Thank you, Soyo. So to conclude, SDGs number 11 is about sustainable cities and communities. What we can change to have cities that are safe for the environment and also for the people living there. For this to happen, we need to solve two major issues. The first problem we are facing is urban expansion. Because of rapid expansion, we have made poor infrastructure, which is now causing environmental pollution. The second problem we are facing is slum areas. Slums are dangerous environments to live in and have limited access to education, healthcare, and other necessities. How do we solve this? How do we change our cities to become more sustainable and a better place to live in? Well, we need to provide housing, safe clean waters, transportation, healthcare, education, and other necessities to live a healthy life. Also, at the same time, we need to be considerate about the environment. With over half of the population living in urban areas, it is crucial to have sustainable ways of living there. Maintaining our quality of life and also keeping it safe for the environment is a challenge. However, it's not impossible to do. As Marina explained, many cities have been taking actions toward this issue. If many acknowledge the problem we are facing and act upon it, we may be able to reach the goal of better life conditions for all people and also taking care of our environment. Back to you, Soyo.
Thank you, Professor Naomi. Okay, this was Everything SDG 11 News. Thank you.
Cut!